Welcome today to Awaken and Anchor. My name is Melanie, and today I continue the series of inspirationals with the wonderful lucid dreamer Eleonore Cait, so Cait. She writes for the quarterly Lucid Dreaming Experience for Robert Waggoner. I'm so happy you're here today.
Hi.
Hi. Um, may I ask, what was it that first inspired you to start lucid dreaming?
Well, when I was a teenager, I had been having a lot of chronic recurring nightmares, and I didn't want to like tell anybody about them because I had the impression that like kids grow out of nightmares, and I thought something was wrong. So I knew what lucid dreaming was. I had found the term online on a fan fiction forum a few years before, and then had one as a kid. I just didn't know what it was. So I decided to start the practice using the online techniques I found. This was in the mid 2000s. I was a older teenager, and I really started back in 2009. That's when I really started my practice.
Wow. And well, from our former conversation, I know that you actually also dive into the collective unconscious with your lucid dreams, and I'm so it's such a wonderful thing to talk about. So, would you mind to riff on that a little?
Yeah, I really like how through lucid dreams and the lucid dream community, we can sometimes it's called shared dreaming, and then through these archetypes that Carl Jung has in his work, we can meet these archetypes within our lucid dreams. My
Mhm.
teacher, Charlie Morley, and your teacher as well, he talks about that sometimes especially when people ask him direct questions in the monthly drop-ins he's had over the years.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Um, I was wondering, maybe we let's first dive into a lucid dream that you would like to share, and then let's come back to the collective unconscious, which is so fascinating for me as a topic. But maybe you want to share mm, one of your or part of a lucid dream that was impactful for you.
Well, the one I often share is the one I started the first one I induced when I was about 18. So again in 2009. Um, I remember when I had become lucid because my dream journal from then is somewhere around here, but what I remember is like that was the first time I flew in a lucid dream, and that was really, really empowering. And that was something I wanted to do again. I remember recording the dream the day after, even though I didn't have a dream journal at that time because it was just so impactful.
That's so true. Actually, now that you were talking, I just recalled a very first lucid dream, but very much in the past. So before I actually engaged in the techniques, I also had recurring nightmares, and one of the recurring nightmares was a broken elevator. So I would be stuck in a broken elevator, and the elevator would go down.
Like a fallen dream.
All that, yeah, exactly. And I managed to to make it fly. So it became like uh, yeah, a flying cabin with windows, so I could actually see, the landscape. It was quite
Kind
impressive,
of
the
like a spaceship.
contrast. Yeah, exactly. So the contrast between the elevator going down, so the drama, and then the relief and the flying. That was
Yeah,
really
I could
cool.
picture that as like being part of a movie where it's like it's a movie and the character becomes lucid, and because it's a dream, she takes control of the elevator and turns it's like in one of it's in there's a I think that there was a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It never became a movie, but it's called Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. And it's a lot like I read it as a kid, so I think it's a lot like that.
Wow, it sounds
Because he
so
gets
cool.
into an elevator at the end of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because Willy Wonka gives him the chocolate factory, and that's the elevator is part of the factory.
Okay. Wow, I never heard about that scene actually. I have to look it
Well,
up.
that's the very end of the first book and the end of the
Hmm.
movies. And
Hmm.
then the second book, he didn't he they that was never made into a movie, but in the second book, he gets the rest of his family and there's some aspects of, sci-fi in there.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
remember it very well, but there's this like magic potion of some sort that turns his grandparents into babies.
Wow, wow. Um, Let me dive a little deeper into the potential of lucid dreaming. So, have you ever had experience, or do you think that through lucid dreaming we can integrate parts of ourselves?
Yeah, yeah. Charlie Morley talks about this a lot. He has a book, Dreaming Through Darkness, about shadow integration, which is also a concept from Carl Jung. He talks about the parts of ourselves we dismiss, deny, or ignore. And they can be negative aspects, but they can also be positive aspects, which the term golden shadow has come up from that. Um, that if we meet those parts of ourselves in a lucid dream, we can integrate them. And Charlie's done some work on that. He has an excellent TED talk from a number of years ago, I think 2011. It's on YouTube.
Mm, mm. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, true. Um, yeah, maybe I share with you one where I called out. So I used my Sankalpa. It was actually the first time I used the Sankalpa, and I said, "Shadow, come to me." And and I always thought it would be a monster, and instead it was like the depressed person. So it was like a part of my depression, and it turned into a dog, and I could actually get close to it and be kind to it, and uh, I showed it love and compassion, and it dissolved. So this was one of the integration dreams
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had.
that dog represents her depression. I'm picturing like a street dog, a stray dog that has been like neglected and has to survive for itself. No wonder it's depressed.
Yeah. Do you have any example of this kind? Have you done some
I
integration
did
yourself?
do a shadow work and lucid dreaming workshop. That's where I met Charlie in person the
Hmm.
first time in 2022, and we did do the lucid dream plan. But I tend to forget my dream plans when I'm lucid. I just like now what? But I did make one. I have a copy of it right here. But I asked him to sign my dream plan, and so I usually hold up the back of it that just has um um because but he talked about the Sankalpa. He talked about how to make a dream plan about our shadow. But see, I was going to do you can see
Yeah.
that there's sort of a fire here because
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
concept that I used
Uh-huh.
to be scared of in my nightmares, but then I turned it into a rocket. So,
Oh, that's so cool. And that worked? Did it work?
oh, I haven't had success with this because
Uh-huh.
I just tend to forget. I tend to forget the plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's one of the aspects of lucid dreaming work that is less successful on my end.
There was one person in our group that just mentioned to maybe recite the dream plan before going to bed, or have another look at it. I think
Yeah,
that may be
yeah.
really
It's just
helpful sometimes. Yeah.
And
I
also, Charlie talks about your why needs to be really important. The why you want to have a lucid dream.
exactly.
Um, and sometimes it's like it depends on what's part of my life I'm in, whether or not I am in the right space. When I had the dream about Andre Breton, I was trying to decide between this dream plan and the one with Andre, and I chose the one with Andre. I remember both, which is rare.
Well, would you be so kind and briefly touch on that one, because I really wanted you to tell us about that one.
Yeah, so I'm on this doing this project with a number of other lucid dreamers and Dave Green, who I mentioned to Melanie before is he's an artist and lucid dreamer from England, and he has this project called the Infinite Andre Project. Andre Breton is the father of surrealism. So in this, all of us have involved in the project have a dream plan to go meet Andre in our dreams and tell and ask him what's the next line of the poem. Because we're all composing a poem with these Andre characters in our dreams.
That's so
Um,
cool.
And in my dream that I had when I was sort of successful, I did meet Andre once I became lucid. I remembered my dream plan, and I was carrying a tablet with me, like an iPad or something, and he was really interested in looking himself up on YouTube, poetry recitations, and I think, well, that of course that wasn't around when he was here in the waking world, so of course he'd want to do that.
Can you imagine the opportunity to engage? I mean,
Yeah,
we would
exactly.
if we would travel now to the future and would have all kinds of new technology to find out stuff, that would be so cool.
Yeah, and sometimes in my lucid dreams, I become lucid because I realize it is the future and it's everything's futuristic, and maybe I'm on another planet and I'm like, wait, I don't go here in my waking life. I don't visit other galaxies.
I never told this anyone, but for about the last year, I have these dreams um, where it's quite evidently futuristic. Yes, yeah, which is interesting, right? It's interesting when that happens as well. Um,
Yeah, because I used to um I really like the TV show Futurama, animated sci-fi show. And I just like the time travel aspects in then, and um just I that's the sci-fi I am most drawn to. I don't read or like, get involved in other science fiction like Star Trek. Um but Futurama, I just tend to like animated stuff. So sometimes I'll have a dream where the graphics are not realistic. They're like a video game.
oh, whoa.
So I'm like, wait, this isn't real life. This looks like a Pokemon game I played as a kid.
And is that like say regular dreams or is that in lucid dreams
Not
as
too
well?
often, but I've had them more in the past when I've replayed some of the video games I enjoyed as a kid, and they have the old-fashioned graphics,
Or they come back, yeah, in the
the
dreamscape.
like
Yeah.
monochrome stuff. Yeah, the graphics come back. I'm like, wait, is this how the game is supposed to work?
You want to continue the level to level up.
Basically,
So,
yeah. It's like,
yeah.
why did my Pokemon run off? He's supposed to stay with me.
So let me ask you the last question of this beautiful conversation. Is one of my favorite questions is how do you see the potential for the evolution of mankind?
Oh, that's a great question. I have been thinking about that. I think back to how people can use lucid dreaming to heal trauma, and if a lot of people do that, if many people do that, then we'll have a more peaceful world because people won't want to get revenge on maybe the people who had harmed them, or they blame the other country for, starting a war with them. I think the world would just be more peaceful if more people were engaged in this.
Absolutely. I so agree. Exactly. That's my passion also to or my strong belief that learning about ourselves basically makes us more compassionate, no?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. I hope we do it again soon.
I'd love
Maybe
to.
after
I'll see you in London.
yeah, exactly. And thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too.